Humans take roughly 20,000 breaths a day, constantly pulling massive volumes of atmospheric air into the lungs. But all of that raw oxygen hovering around us is biologically useless on its own. It provides zero survival value until it makes contact with the bloodstream deep inside the body. For nursing and medical students, mapping exactly how that transfer happens requires a precise clinical review. We have to trace the exact continuous anatomical pathway that successfully transports air from the outside world down into our biology. The journey begins at the macro level. A single breath enters the primary gateway of the face, the nose and the nasal cavity. This is where the raw, unconditioned air is initially captured from the environment. From the nasal cavity, that captured air is pulled downwards. It transitions directly into the pharynx, a muscular tube located just behind the nose and mouth. These macroscopic upper tract structures serve as a preparatory gateway, warming, humidifying, and filtering the harsh outside air so it is ready for the delicate, microscopic descent ahead. As the air travels further down, it encounters the larynx. This structure acts as a vital anatomical gatekeeper, ensuring air continues down the respiratory pathway while protecting the lower airway from food or debris. Pushing past the larynx, the air drops into the trachea, or windpipe. This rigid, cartilage-ringed tube serves as the central structural trunk of the entire respiratory tree. This diagram illustrates the first major split. At its base, the wide trachea diverges into the right and left primary bronchi. Next, the air is forced out of those primary tubes and into a series of narrower pathways called the secondary bronchi. This progressive, continuous splitting is a highly specific biological engineering solution. It is designed to take a single large volume of inhaled breath and distribute it evenly across the vast spatial interior of both lungs. The division rapidly accelerates. The air pushes past the secondary tubes and splinters into the highly numerous tertiary bronchi, driving even deeper into the lung tissue. Here, a critical structural shift suddenly occurs. The air leaves the larger, rigid, cartilage-supported tubes behind and enters a network of microscopic, flexible airways known as the bronchioles. The pathway plunges deeper still into the terminal bronchioles. At this stage, the physical scale of the passageways is severely shrinking, narrowing down to a fraction of a millimeter in diameter. From there, the air flows into the respiratory bronchioles. This is the final, deepest conductive threshold, the very last set of transport tubes before the air reaches its destination. At this microscopic scale, the mathematical volume of the airway is staggering. The confined real estate of the chest cavity is packed tight with millions of these tiny, constantly dividing tubes, branching in every direction. This exponential, fractal-like branching allows the body to pack a massive amount of surface area into the small volume of the chest, ensuring the air is ready for its final transformation. The air finally exits those respiratory bronchioles, flowing directly into narrow passages called the alveolar ducts. From the ducts, the air pools into the alveolar sacs. These small grape-like clusters represent the absolute terminal ends of the branching respiratory tree. Within those clusters sit the individual alveoli. Out of the millions of branches we just traced, these tiny balloon-like structures are the ultimate microscopic destination of the entire descent. This diagram demonstrates the critical mechanism at that destination. Oxygen crosses the ultra-thin alveolar membrane into the adjacent capillary, while carbon dioxide is pushed out, swapping places across the boundary line. This singular microscopic action transforms the previously useless gas into life-sustaining oxygenated blood. Mastering this sequence is vital for medical study. A structural failure or blockage in any single branch along this descent completely severs the chain of human survival.